welcome back to Learn Fiore. Today we're not going to be talking about Fiore plays per se. We'll cover a couple of them as examples, but rather we're going to be talking about a tool that you can add to your arsenal to help you understand plays, to help you understand ideas and why they might and might not work in an actual fight, and to help you prune your decision tree when you are in an actual fight. So this tool is a visualization. It is not a complete system. It is not something that's a grand unified theory of fencing. It's just a tool that will help you understand part of why moves may or may not work well. All right, so the wall is a visualization that is of something virtual, that is an imaginary plane that is in line with the blade, both of the blades when they're in contact. So that goes between the two points and the two guards. So as we move the swords around, now the plane is horizontal with my sword on top, and if we go the other way, now the plane is horizontal with his sword on top. And the idea of the wall is that you are in better shape if your body is on the side of the wall as your sword. That means you are relatively safe, and if your opponent's body is on the same side of the wall as your sword, then you are in a better shape to threaten them and to hurt them. So if we're in a more normal position here, and he takes a slight advantage, now the wall is in a bad spot for me and in a good spot for him. I have kind of two options for changing that. One, I can push my sword and move the wall by doing a sword move, or I can move my body by stepping around it. In most cases, I probably want to do both. I want to push and move. And now I'm much happier. His body is on the same side of the wall as my sword, and my body is on the same side of the wall as my sword. So with rapiers, the wall is much smaller because you're at a much slighter angle on your thrust-focused style. So the wall here is much less tall than it was with the long swords, but it's still there, and you can still use it as a visualization, and it's still helpful. So to illustrate this, we're going to use one of Fiore's plays called an exchange of thrusts. And in this case, he's going to thrust into me, and if I just let it happen, he's on the correct side of the wall, he can hit me. Instead, we're going to do what Fiore suggests, and we're going to step offline and push with my sword, and in doing that, I'm going to push the wall away from me so I'm safe, and push it so that he's a threat. So he thrusts, I step offline, and counter thrust. Very conventional, modern fencing move, SCA fencing move. Fiore talked about it. And you can understand it through visualization with the wall. How do you use the wall when your swords are not in contact with each other? What we're going to do here is that we're going to use the peasant's blow, its counter, and then the counter to the counter to explain how you establish the wall in the position that you want it to be. So he's going to do an overhand cut to try to slice me in half, and I'm going to step into it, make contact with this blade, which will momentarily cause the wall to be horizontal, but then I'm going to allow it to deflect, and that's going to move the wall around to my right, and I will be safe. And then we'll see the counter and the counter, and see how that changes things. So if he'll go ahead and cut at me, I step in and deflect. So the wall went there, and now is beside me. And now I can cut his head off at leisure. But there's a counter in Fiore's manual. The counter is, as soon as I let the wall go, as soon as the wall disappears, he cuts me while I'm out here playing around trying to set up my cut. That's not good. And it's possible because I let the wall disappear. Now, the counter to the counter is to reestablish the wall. So I'm here, I've deflected. Now, suspecting that he knows what he's doing, I'm going to reestablish the wall here. Now it's horizontal, and I still have access to cut his head off at my leisure. And now, when I let go, he doesn't have the ability to generate any power to damage me. I hope you enjoyed and learned from this demonstration of the visualization technique called the wall. There are other visualization techniques that other people I've talked to use. Some people use a heat map, visualize their opponent in colors and in which regions are safe and which are unsafe based on that kind of a colored approach. If there's interest, I may be able to talk to some of the people that use that kind of an approach and do a similar video to explain and demonstrate that. If you have another visualization technique that you use, please let me know. If you're local, we'd love to get with you and film it and explain it. If you're not local, then just explain it in the comments below, or make your own video and share it with us. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.